Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV. This is our second last show for the year, and of course it is a festive time for everybody, but nevertheless Cape Rugby TV carries on. Big thanks of course to our partners here at Cape Rugby TV who have stayed with us constantly without letting us down. Score Energy Drinks with us for a long time now. You can of course win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks during the course of the show, and you can win yourself a set of Cape Rugby TV masks. Here's my mask, courtesy of CTC Sports. That's coming up during the course of the show. And of course, MCAM 24-hour pharmacy. Folks, well, we are heading towards the end of the year and we're catching up with our coaches, especially coaches that have been part of the Sevens Rugby tournament. So it's great to talk to the coaches. Tonight we'll speak to Gilroy Noble from Blake's Seven Side, Dean Storm from Atlantis, Ashwin Sprague, of course, original Cape Rugby TV panel member from Albion's, is the Sevens coach there. Mitchell Aronson is coaching at Delft, and of course Kurt Stichling from Titans Rugby Football Club. But folks, on the line with me now, Gilroy Noble from Blake's Sevens. Let's start off there. Gilroy, welcome to Cape Rugby TV.
Hi, JP. Good day. Well, very well, man. We're keeping well. It's the festive season, so yeah, we're keeping safe.
Gilroy, have you guys closed up? Any training at the moment, or is it now holiday time for a bit?
Well, we're not closed. I think club can never be closed. Otherwise, there's things that pass us. So yeah, our guys are still busy. We're actually busy with the tag team tournament as we speak. So no, our guys are really busy, keeping fit and so on.
Tag team tournament, tell us a little bit about that, just so everybody knows. Blake's Rugby still carries on?
No, it's the Christian Noble Foundation. He's hosting the tag team tournament. So
okay.
We got a few guys of ours together, a few youngsters, and we put in a team. So yeah, I was at the field earlier and it looks massive.
So there's tag rugby happening at the moment, which is of course great. Perfect way to keep players active and to keep people connected.
Yeah, definitely. And the guys are looking forward. They haven't been playing much, so every time they get a chance to get their hands on the ball, they just say yes, we're up for it, coach. So yeah. No,
that is great. Yeah, we had quite a few conversations with Terence Greef, of course, over the lockdown period, who definitely was showing us a lot about how you guys have stayed active, managed to keep people connected. But Gilroy, of course, when the Sevens came about, that was, I suppose, the first real opportunity for you guys to get back on the park and start playing rugby again.
Yeah, it was difficult times, JP. We got together 2 months before they announced that the Sevens gonna happen, and to get guys fit in 2 months, it's like moving mountains. So it was a difficult time, but as I say, the guys here, rugby ball, field, they're in. So heads up to the youngsters of today that still want to do the sport.
Tell us a little bit about the Sevens, Gilroy. One of the things that we noticed is quite a few clubs have come through the ranks. A few more clubs have joined the Score Sevens now. And when we looked at the overall picture here, we just saw that there were quite a few new clubs making a name for themselves this year.
Yeah, it was surprisingly. It was on the day. Like, for instance, we played the first week, we played 4 games, we lost 2. And the next week we came back flying colors, and it was just, if you're ready on the day, you are the team to beat. That is just how it is. We saw some close calls with Marty's, and so yeah, the game changes.
Let's take a look at one of the highlights from the Score Sevens, Gilroy. Gilroy, so Blake's Paarl Rangers there, of course, one of your games. Do you feel that there's a bit of a rivalry there between Blake's and Paarl area, or is it still far enough that there's not such a challenge that it's a neighbour?
Well, we always had our differences between Stellenbosch and Paarl. It's just a thing. But Blake's executives and Paarl executives, we have a very good understanding. Every year we invite Albions to play a friendly with, and they always agree. So we are on good terms with them. Paarl Rangers, unfortunately, our scrummer that played for us in 2019, he's played sevens for them this year, and we played against them. So, yeah, there was a bit of a shuffle here and there, but that's part of the game.
It sounds like it's always good fun, Gilroy. Gilroy, what comes next for you guys now? I know you're playing tag rugby at the moment. Have you got an idea when the players will be back on the park to start training again?
Well, the coach made an announcement that he wants to start on the 15th. So, yeah, everyone will be back on the 15th because we want to really start early with our friendly games, which will be starting at the end of February. The sooner we're going to get started, the better it's going to be for the players because there's really hard work that lies ahead. Yeah. And we are for the challenge.
And have you given the players any sort of training programs or advice over the Christmas period, or are you just going to see what happens when they return in January?
Well, unfortunately for them, they're going to be very sorry if they don't do their work because they know Coach Wayne don't play. He doesn't play around. And so, yeah, they are all keeping fit. So, yeah, we have a nice young group of players that still is active. So, yeah, you'll see them running around. You'll see them playing touch rugby. So they're busy.
Gilroy, we leave it at that. Thanks for chatting with us. Please send our very best to Terence and to Coach Wayne and to everybody else at Blake's. We hope that you guys have a safe and festive season. And we're, of course, looking forward to catching up with you early in January.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, JP. And we at Blake's Rugby Club just want to wish everyone a very well Christmas and a very, very, very good New Year. So, yeah, next year, Blake's on the rise.
There we go, folks. Gilroy Noble, head sevens coach at Blake's Rugby Football Club. Always fantastic catching up with the guys at Blake's. And as you know, we've been able to speak to Blake's who have stayed as active as possible over the last 18 months. But looking forward then to finding out what happens in January. And certainly with players, as he said, a great problem to have, having so many players return to the field. So, rugby excitement at Blake's. We'll take a break. When we come back, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. Well, of course, as you know, a lot of the clubs, of course, slowing down, but at the same time, we've also found out that quite a few clubs are doing various activities over the festive period to stay busy, to keep their players connected. Some social activities happening at some of the clubs. And of course, as you know, we are still playing catch up with some of the coaches from the SCORE Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. Dean Storm is the head coach for the Atlantis Seven Sides. Dean, welcome to Cape Rugby TV. How are things?
Hi, JP. Good. Always good speaking to you, man.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you on the show. I see you proudly wearing your new Stormers jersey. I take it there's no family connection there with Dean Storm and the Stormers?
No, not actually. I hope there was actually.
Dean, tell us about the Sevens. We've been, of course, speaking to Gershwin over the last 18 months. He's been joining us online quite a few times. Atlantis, the Gees is there. We're always getting messages, people sending us the WhatsApps and the Facebook comments. Well, let's start off before we talk about the Sevens. How's the Gees at Atlantis?
Well, JP, at the moment we quite have a lekker Gees going there with a lot of youngsters coming in into the club at the moment. Yeah, actually it's a whole bunch of under 20s that started up joining with the club. You see, We got our neighbor club, Hamlets, Hamlets. We got our Hamlets just a few meters from us in Momri. So we have a quite big competition over the few years with losing players to them. But we had a slight change around in this year with the COVID and everything, not allowing players to travel and those type of things. So we actually gained some players, some good quality players, and a lot of under 20s into our ranks at the moment.
How much preparation did you have to do? How fit were the guys? I mean, quite a few folks said when we spoke to some of the other coaches, they said that fitness was probably one of the most important parts of the sevens.
Yes, definitely, JP. On our side, we had a lot of challenges concerning our fitness and our conditioning, actually. I actually made us a small 8-week cycle, 8-week program that we worked in 3 phases, actually. And it's almost like a whole year's prep that we just pushed into 8 weeks. We worked on strength and conditioning, power, quickness, speed, everything together, just punching it up, just to get the guys back on track and some muscle memory, because see the break we had with COVID and everything and just bouncing back and getting to place was a bit difficult. But in the sevens game, we had all our backs actually playing, and we had so 2, 3 forwards joining up as well. And then we got everything together, got some fitness, got some conditioning, and wasn't 100%, but we got there. On the 6th week, we were on a level, and all the guys were fit to play.
One of your teams that you came up against was Tygerberg, 2019 champions. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from Tygerberg and give me your thoughts. So, Dean, Tygerberg, of course, I'm sure you remember that game. 2019 champions. What did you think?
Well, Tygerberg, a massive outfit, massive outfit. Super A team versus division team. For Atlantis Rugby Club, it was a big one. It was a big one coming off games from like Durban, Bellville, Collegians, and we had to face Tygerberg on the last day of the tournament and our last game. The guys were putting out there, but there was big character shown from our guys. We were much smaller than them. We were very physical, but we never backed down. We never backed down. We had the guys with the big hearts and the small bodies, but they put everything on the line for us at the end of the day. And we made some heads turn in that game as well. Even Tygerberg thought what was happening here, and we were just going and cheering. We were down like 20-0, but we were still going, and we scored 2 tries at the end of the game, and that was a bonus for us at the end of the day.
Dean, what comes next for you guys now? Are you having a bit of a break? Are you going to start? When do you guys start training again?
At the moment, JP, we are on a break now. We are forwarding some exercises to the guys to do at home just to keep themselves fit. If they do it, we are not so sure, but we're just trying to put something out there to do our bit, and we'll get back on the 11th and the 12th of January.
Right.
I think around about that time. Yeah, and then we'll get back to the field, and then we start with our conditioning and our strengthening and all those type of things again.
Are you a bit worried that there's going to be one too many Christmas puddings?
Yeah, JP, actually, some guys are going to have some extra meat, some extra puddings, and getting that fatties back onto the field and getting them run up and down is going to be quite a challenge again.
Well, Dean, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, as long as the players are having fun and staying safe, and that they all come back next year in good spirits, that's the most important thing. So we look forward to catching up with you guys again early in January, and hopefully get some pictures of that first training session.
Yes, definitely, JP. We can organize that anytime, no problem. Just see to get the guys back and get them pumping again, and then we'll have a nice season ahead of us.
Thanks, Dean. We leave it at that. Stay safe and have a fantastic festive season.
Thanks, JP. Same to you and your team.
Always great chatting to the folks at Atlantis Rugby Football Club. We know that they're going to have a big year in 2022. Right, folks. Well, of course, as you know, on a weekly basis, we take a look at what's happening at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Well, if you were with me last week, you would have heard me tell you that MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy have made a pledge. Their staff members have made a pledge that they will always be open for you over the festive season and continue to bring you the gold standard. The staff members got together. They've been making the pledges where they, in their various departments, are making pledges to look after you, to bring you that sense of comfort over this difficult period. And that's what we've come to love about MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, is the fact that they are always there for you. Now, Cleo Esterhazy is in the sport supplement zone at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and this is his pledge to you.
Hi there, I'm Cleo Esterhazy of the MChem 24-Hour Sports Supplement Zone. Just because it's the festive season, is it of no reason to slack of your supplementation and your training. The MChem Supplement Zone is always open and always stocked with the most extensive range of sports supplements. We pledge to ensure that you receive the best advice and the best product for your sports nutritional needs. We're looking forward to assisting you. Keep safe and keep fit.
So if you need some sports supplements, or you're just simply needing for some help, some advice, and if you're looking for the gold standard, well, MChem staff have made the pledge to you to be there for you always during the festive season. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV, at least welcome back. Of course, just a quick heads up, by now of course you will make sure that you've got your sanitizer, your masks, probably your Cape Rugby TV masks, which you can of course win during the score competition, and of course you're doing the social distancing. Right folks, well as you know we're still catching up with our coaches from the score, Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, and whether or not the coaches were playing score sevens or 15 sevens, we look forward to speaking to club coaches as much as possible anyway. Of course, it's been a very difficult year for club rugby, and a lot of coaches haven't been able to find their groove because of obvious reasons. It's been stop-start. COVID has played a drastic role on club and members' participation. But nevertheless, along came the score, Western Province Club Rugby Sevens, and of course, our clubs jumped on board. Mitchell Orenser is the head coach for Delft Rugby Sevens side, and he joins us now. Mitchell, welcome to Cape Rugby TV. How are things there with you?
Hi JP, can't complain, welcome, thank you sir. Ek kan glad nie klaar nie, ek is 100% self.
Nee, ons soos hulle sê, ons vat 'n ding maar so een dag op 'n slag. Ja, nee, help jy om te klaar nie. Dit is nou natuurlik die feestelike seisoen. Mitchell, Delft, you guys have been able to stay busy. You managed to keep the players involved. And of course, the score sevens came along. How did you find the tournament?
Ja, JP, vir ons was dit 'n baie goeie learning curve. Ons het baie daaruit geleer. En ons nou wel nie so goed gedoen soos ons wil het gehad het nie. Maar vir ons was dit, soos ek sê, dit was 'n learning curve en ons het vir ons baie geniet. En ons het baie uit geleer en vir next jaar is ons terug en volstroom.
Mitchell, of course, the sevens came along. Was it difficult to get the players there? I mean, I'm assuming that when it comes to sevens rugby, everybody's putting up their hands to say we want to play.
Ons het taamlik 'n paar players gehad wat wou gespeel het. Ons het amper oor die 20 gehad. Maar soos u mos weet, as gevolg van die COVID kan ons nie baie saamgeneem het nie. En die manne was baie ywerig om te speel en hulle was baie hulle wou rugby gespeel het, of dit nou sevens gewees het of 15s gewees het. Hulle sal kom die spitte wil ook glad sevens gespeel het. Dit wat ek vir julle kan sê.
Mitchell, het jy wat van die fiksheid? Met so baie van die spelers wat nou natuurlik in die jaar nie kon oefen nie, baie van die coaches het gesê fiksheid was een van die moeilike dinge.
Ja, ons het nie, soos jy mos weet, as gevolg van COVID kan ons nie baie by mekaar gekom het nie en ons het baie laat in die jaar het ons rugby begin oefen. En die fiksheid het 'n groot rol gespeel in hierdie verband en het ons 'n bietjie geknal. Want baie van ons spelers, 'n paar van ons spelers, 3-4 spelertjies het seer gekry. Nou nie baie ernstig seer, maar ons het deur gekom.
Ja. Het jy al gevind in die verskil tussen die 15s en die 7s? Jy's natuurlik die hoofcoach vir die 7s by Delft. Het julle nou begin identifiseer dat julle 7 specialist spelers het?
Ja, ons het so 3-4 uit die bondel uit dit ons gekry. En ook die mannetjies, hulle is ywerig om te leer en hulle het gesê maar ja, hulle wil volgende jaar baie vroeër begin. Sodat ons kan reg wees vir volgende jaar se sevens. En ek kan vir nou sê volgende jaar sal Delft 'n beter team hê en ons sal aanstootmakers wees tot die beker toe.
Mitchell, ons het ook gesien gedurende die jaar dat nogal 'n paar van julle administrators, byvoorbeeld AB Marcus, het deelgeneem in al die verskillende online workshops en kursusse om te help met die bou van die bemarking van die span en geesbou van die span en te kyk na facilities en al daai tipe dinge. Het daai bietjie gehelp om die spelers gemotiveerd te hou?
Ja, ek kan vir sê baie. Soos AB Marcus gegaan het vir die kursusse en so het hy teruggekom na ons toe en hy het ons saam met ons coaches gepraat, hy het saam met die bestuur gepraat en ons het dinge het ons die jaar bietjie anders gedoen as wat ons normally het gedoen het en dit het vir ons baie gehelp. En ons Delft, ek kan vir julle sê dat ons op 'n ander level. Want dit nou kom evens by die 7s ook en ons gaan groot aanstalmakers wees.
Een van die groot games wat julle gespeel het gedurende die Score 7s was die wedstryd teen Bellville. Kom ons kyk gou na die highlights. Mitchell, daar was nog een van die nice games, Delft en Bellville. Bellville natuurlijk een gevaarlijke span.
Ja, die naam sê al klaar baie in rugbykringe en in die liga wat hulle speel ook en die liga waar ons speel. Maar ons het daai game gegaan nie omdat gedink ons is bang vir hulle of niks. Ons was vol hard reg vir hulle en ons dan gegaan om te gaan wen. Maar ongelukkig het die punt op 'n nuwe dag nie daarna toe gekom nie.
Wat kom vir julle nou, Mitchell? Wat kom nou volgende vir julle? Ek neem aan julle gaan maar 'n bietjie van 'n break vat en wanneer begin julle weer volgende jaar?
Ja, ons is nou op 'n klein breekie. Die manne gaan gou magies volmaak en dan Januarie, vroeg in Januarie, dan gaan ons weer al daai volmagies weer afbring wat ons weer kan reg en fiks wees vir die 15.
Het julle daarom vir die spelers gesê hulle moet bietjie oefen oor die vakansie?
Wel ja, ek weet dit is 'n bietjie swaar vir alle se coaches teenwoordig is, maar ons het wel 'n program uitgewerk wat hulle moet doen. Daarom dat hulle nie so stil sit by die huisie, dat hulle nog aan die fiksheid 'n bietjie moet werk en as hulle terugkom volgende jaar, dat dit so swaar vir ons is nie. Hulle het elkeen so 'n klein programpie gekry.
Hoe is die gees met die spelers op die oomblik, Mitchell? Ek meen, soos jy sê, julle het nou dinge bietjie anders gedoen hierdie jaar. Toe die spelers terugkom, hulle was seker happy om op die veld te wees.
O ja, hulle was baie happy, ek kan vir dit sê. Ek kan nog vir sê dat hulle kan nie meer uitsien vir volgende jaar nie. Hulle wil graag hê dat VP Rugby moet die season maar baie vroeër begin as normaalweg, sodat hulle kan terugkom op die veld. En ek kan vir sê dat die manne by Delft was baie excited en hulle voel om weer rugby te speel. En ons het daai gesegde op ons dat ons gaan van Delft 'n naam wat almal gaan van praat.
Mitchell, ons los hom daarso. Ons sê vir julle, maar bly maar veilig gedurende die vakansie. Geniet dit en hopelik gesels ons vroeg in die nuwe jaar.
Dankie baie, ons maak so en ewen vir u en familie ook. Het 'n lieflike Kersfees vorentoe. Dankie hoor.
Thank you, Mitchell. There we go, folks. Mitchell Arendse, of course, head coach, Sevens coach at Delft. They've also been doing incredible things to stay connected, stay active. Also, a lot of outreach projects, and it's been incredible to speak to the clubs that have been busy. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's, of course, Cape Rugby TV, and we keep talking club rugby. We're keeping everybody connected. It's the festive season, but it doesn't matter. The club rugby community still knows each other. Everybody's talking to each other. Everybody's wishing each other. Everybody's celebrating virtually most of the time, or certainly via the social media channels. And certainly everybody in club rugby continues to watch Cape Rugby TV as we keep talking about the family of club rugby. Now, folks, we are this year 11 years into Cape Rugby. And for those of you that have been watching the show since the first year, now, as I say, 11 years ago, you will remember that one of the founding members, one of the very first people to join us, in fact, I think on our very first show was Ashwin Sprague, still with Club Rugby and, of course, with Albions. Ashwin, welcome back. How are you, meneer?
Hi, Jay, everybody. Nice to be back again, man. I like the intro. One of the founding members. I just love it.
I mean, we've got to obviously respect and appreciate people who helped get us to the point of where we are. But more importantly, great to see you with Albions and still active. How are things going there with Albions? We see you guys out again. A lot of fun in the sevens.
Yeah, no, definitely. JP, we all know that rugby for the past 2 years has been very quiet, dormant due to the COVID pandemic, and it's been difficult. But we at Albions, we always keep the guys active, you know. So whatever we can come up with, whether it's a sevens, whether it's a family day, whether it's a Thanksgiving church service, we try and keep the guys together. So that's our main aim. We don't want guys to just disappear, because after 2 years of not being able to play rugby, it's really a challenge. It's really a challenge. But we're thankful that we could manage to get a few things and offer the guys, so just to keep them, you know, active.
But that does seem like that's one of the things you guys have been particularly good at in the last 18 months, is staying active. We saw a lot of outreach projects. We saw a lot of weekend campaign ideas. Some of them we know were cancelled at short notice because of unfortunate circumstances that the country itself found itself in. But that really has been one of your specialities is in the last 18 months, is finding creative ways to keep the players connected, creative ways to make sure that you're looking after each other, not just to play rugby, but to actually look after each other as a family.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, it's very difficult to keep a community based club. You know, keep the players interested. So it's Albion's. We as an exec, we try and, like I said, offer the guys. There's constant communication. We believe in family values, so we really try and keep the guys together. So one of our outreach programs, we actually assisted cleaning the local old age home.
Yes, we saw that. That was
property. Yeah,
that was incredible. And I must tell you, Ashwin, sorry for jumping in and stealing your highlight. That was one of the most incredible stories that we saw in the last 18 months, is what you guys did with very little resources. That you went out there and you helped clean up the garden. The players were sharing the little bit of food that they had with each other, the little bit of Coke or hot dogs that they were able to share with each other, and even take home for each other. It was an incredible story, Ashwin.
Yeah, no, for sure. And hats off here to our passionate and very active chairman, Mr. Andre Kermis, and you know, we don't often say thank you enough, but he's the backbone, he's the driver behind Albion's Rugby Club, and kudos to him and all respect. He keeps us together. So yeah, let me take this opportunity to thank him for all the hard work he's putting into the club.
So Auto Boys, let's just talk a little bit about Auto Boys for a second. The glass fitting for cars, obviously, for vehicles. We're talking about damaged windscreens and windows and so on?
That is correct, JP. We replace, and via our insurance panel, they specialize in the replacement and repair of all automotive glass and related products.
We've got a highlight here of Albion's up against Windmill United. Let's take a look. So Windmill United, of course, for you guys, would you say that was almost like a derby?
I recall one of my captains telling me that, you know, Windmill, they always have our number. They will push us to the edge, and that's one of the big things when we play against Windmill. we never underestimate them. We always show them the necessary respect. But they seem to push you. Local derbies, you know, they play out of their skin. So well done to Windmill and to Albions for that one.
Ashwin, I'm assuming people are taking a bit of a break over the festive season. Have you got an idea of when the players will resume training next year?
Everybody on their break at the moment. Everybody handed a off-season program, catering for all.
Catering for all, literally catering.
Yeah, catering for all, backs and forwards, obviously. And for some of the coaches. So yeah, everybody's gone home with a program, and we'll join up in the second week of January again, and prepare for the, let's hope for this year's club season.
Yeah, let's all hope for the best turnouts. Let's hope we have a good, safe, most importantly safe festive season. Ashwin, to you and Andre Kermis and to all the players and everybody at Albions, we're looking forward to catching up early in January, and hopefully you've got thousands of players back on the park with you.
Thanks, JP, and thanks for the opportunity once again to you and your support staff. Renzel, I know he's one of the drivers behind this program. Thanks. Have a good festive season. Be safe. And let's see each other in January again.
Thanks, Ashwin. Folks, you've got to go find the old highlight reels there of Ashwin Sprague on Cape Rugby TV. In fact, we'll look for it in our very first season 11 years ago. Right, well, as we've told you, you can, of course, win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. All you need to do is go to our Facebook page, coupled with a set of masks courtesy of CTC Sports. Go to our Facebook page, take a look for the logo that we change every week. It's very easy. Well, if you know your club rugby, it's very easy. Every week we take a logo, we make some changes, and we give you an opportunity to guess the logo. And of course, this week's winner is Ernest Fortuin. Ernest, congratulations. You managed to identify the logo. It was, in fact, Paul Rangers. And Ernest, you walk away with a case of Score energy drinks, as well as a set of masks courtesy of CTC Sports. We'll be in touch with you via Facebook Messenger. You can come collect your prize. Congratulations again, Ernest. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We have got only a week left in this year as we go into as we head towards closing off the year. It has certainly been an interesting year. There's still a few days left in 2021. Kurt Stichling is the head coach at Titans Rugby Football Club. Joins me on the line now. Kurt, welcome back, Cape Rugby TV. How are you?
Good, thank you, man. And thanks for this opportunity.
I see you're proudly wearing your Titans jersey. It's been a difficult year for club rugby. Kurt, I suppose how did you find 2021?
Well, we took the good with the bad. Yes, it was unsuccessful in terms of playing the actual game. However, what we did behind the scenes was fulfilling nonetheless with regards to the virus and the situation we face. That was really stressful and frustrating for many, particularly families that suffered as a result of contracting the virus. In terms of getting players to the field, that also hampered many of them from coming out to training sessions, and obviously as a result none of us could actually engage in any formal rugby activity. So that was we, like I said, we took the good with the bad. There was a few highlights behind the scenes though.
Well, one of the things, of course, that we saw in this year as well as the last year is just how active Titans Rugby Football Club has been from an outreach point of view. We obviously interview Gino Topley on a regular basis. We've been in touch with Titans. you guys together with the support of Busy Corner, one of your sponsors, and a few other supporters. I mean, it's for us. It's been watching you guys from this side it's been one of the highlights of taking a look at a club and a club structure that can show really what it can do for its members.
Yeah, thanks, JP. That was, like I said, one of the highlights of this year, or for this past 2 years, in which we just then decided to focus on our support base and our community, reaching out to individuals that are suffering as a result of not just the virus, but also the social diversities that we face within the area of Grassy Park, Parkwood, and Lotus River.
Was there quite a lot of work behind the scenes for you guys as management to make sure that you kept the wheels turning?
Yeah. Look, where contact is concerned, that was we tried to maintain contact with the players, checking firstly whether or not they are okay, whether they in their own spaces and in their homes are surviving and are able to function on a daily basis. And then from there it just went out into the communities and then tried to help where that was concerned. Our management team then just approached our sponsors who were like, they were so helpful. When the call went out, they were the ones that said, yes, we have this, and gave in excess of that what was asked of them, supplying foods to the communities, and then obviously just the boys getting together in order to distribute these parcels, and also just getting together on those days just to see whether or not everybody's in the right mental space.
It seems that sponsors are starting to maybe look for club rugby structures as an outlet to support, because they know that clubs have got the ability to reach a members base. Clubs have got a management system in place to coordinate projects. Is that maybe something that I'm summing up correctly?
That is true, yes. So where Titans are concerned, I think that firstly we needed to get our structures right at the club, and we successfully did so, and we will continue to do so. And then they obviously latched on to see the improvement in our management space, and then latched onto that, and then just supported us all the way where that was concerned. Yeah, it's true what you're saying, that they're looking to support clubs and getting their name out there as well as a company or as a sponsor.
Yeah, we of course know that Busy Corner has been one of your primary supporters. We see it square on the front of your jersey, obviously, and so I think that's one of our ways of helping you guys, is by acknowledging the sponsors that you've got. So obviously, from a Cape Rugby point of view, for any of our viewers that are watching right now, Busy Corner retail outlet in Grassy Park, supporting Titans Rugby Football Club, and have done so for a long time. And so if you are in the neck of the woods, folks, go and support Busy Corner. Kurt, for you, from a coaching perspective, it's been a stop-start, up and down scenario. You're going to play friendlies, and then you're going to play maybe fixtures, and then maybe there's sevens, and then there's maybe touch rugby, and then it gets cancelled, and it gets put back on. All outside of the control of any sporting organisation. It's all got to do with how sport is operating on a global basis at the moment across the country, and the regulations. How difficult has that been for you as a coach, as the head coach of Titans Rugby Football Club? Not just only from your own perspective, but also about thinking about your management team that you have to think about.
Yeah, well, I obviously foresaw that this wasn't going to be something that would just go by overnight. So you needed to kind of plan for it, what planning you could have done. Also just encouraging the boys like to come out and come and train together. Those kind of things needed to, or the protocols needed to be put in place to keep them safe as well, where training was concerned. So we needed to think about it, look at it from a managerial point of view, see how we were going to implement it, and then also just to continue that and in keeping the players safe. For where games were concerned, we obviously knew that it was eventually going to get to that space where you needed to be vaccinated against the virus in order to play games. And even though there were still lines drawn where that vaccination process was concerned, where the players were concerned, many were fearful about being vaccinated. And this is a drive that we're going to be continuing to get across to the players, because it's not a Titans rule, it's a Western Province or a global rugby rule, in fact, where that's concerned. It was to those that were actually coming out to training session, it was frustrating for them, because we couldn't really fill a full squad, or in order to play games, as a result of the diverse thoughts on the vaccination process. However, I still maintain that keeping healthy and keeping fit was imperative, regardless of whether or not we're going to be playing games. I still had the sessions on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening, to those that were willing to come out. I just continued with that, and I gotta thank the boys that had come out to the training sessions. It was humbling for me just to see that the dedication that they showed towards rugby and towards the club as a whole.
Fantastic to hear that. I think that's what many people needed, was the ability to, at the end of the day, get down to a field, put your boots on, have a run, even especially in a situation like that where it's such a big open space, and which is exactly what the recommendations say, is participate in an open area where possible. So great news that you, of course, were leading that charge and coordinating that. Good. A final question. 2022 big plans. When are you guys back?
Well, as early as mid-January already, JP. The guys, like when we ended 2021 with a tag tournament at Titans, and then the guys were so bleak to have to go into this period, this off-season period. Yeah. So I told them that we need to start as early as possible, even though it's may potentially not be training sessions as such, but we're going to have a few hikes to kick off the season. We did a hike at the end of November. We're looking to also get out down to the beach end of January for some touch on the beach, and then I'll also start player testing, in which I'll be doing fitness testing with the players, as I did in 2021 as well, just to see where they are at, what they've been doing over the off season, and also just preparing for the season ahead. And like I mentioned earlier on as well, the vaccination drive, just getting those on board that are not vaccinated, and just encouraging them to take that step, and so that we can officially play games in the new year. We don't know what it holds, whether or not any leagues will take place or anything like that. However, I feel that we should still be prepared should anything kick off. I'll be doing my best with that is concerned, with the guys are concerned. And then obviously the fundraisers will continue with the fundraisers in the new year, alongside Busy Corner, just assisting us where community initiatives are concerned. And also a big thing as well with amongst the players. We're also looking to get careers or career evenings, or like just assisting those that have lost jobs and are not working. It is a bleak time for some of the players during this festive period, where many are not employed and struggle to find work. So we're looking to, from a management point of view, just to assist those players to upskill themselves and also to potentially lead them in the right direction where finding suitable jobs are concerned. Yeah.
Good, that's fantastic. We take our hat off to you, Meneer. I know it's been difficult times, and we'll leave it that, and we'll say to you, tell everybody out there, we wish them a safe and festive season. We can't wait for 2022.
Thank you so much, JP, and awesome festive season to you, and all the best for the new year as well to you and the Cape Rugby team.
There we go, folks. Kurt Stichling is, of course, head coach at Titans Rugby Football Club. And it's been heartwarming to see what Titans Rugby Football Club have done for their players, for their community, of course, together with the support of their sponsors, such as Busy Corner. And yeah, it's been, as I say, heartwarming. But we close the door there on 2021, and we're looking forward to 2022. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec.